3 off a 33-yard field goal in the first quarter by Raul Alegre of the Colts, and a 43-yard field goal in the second quarter by Rich Carlos of Denver. It has been a hard-hitting game. John Elway has certainly heard the boos from the crowd. Elway, off to a rugged start, has shown some signs. Did show signs in the second quarter. Overall in the half, he is 5 for 15, 44 yards. He was sacked one time. The big man offensively for Denver has been Sammy Winder. He had a terrific first half, coming off the 96-yard performance last week against Pittsburgh.
I think, Marv, you're going to see that Dan Reeves is going to come back with Elway. There was some discussion up here in the press room. Well, DeBerg came on late last week and got him a touchdown to win the ball game against Pittsburgh. But I think Dan Reeves has made up his mind. Elway's his quarterback. Last week, Elway got hurt. His throwing arm was hit in the elbow. But I think in the second quarter, he played pretty well individually. Collectively, as a group, they made the little mistakes that kept him off the scoreboard. But I think John's starting to get relaxed, and he's playing against a very inspired, tough defensive group of players in Baltimore.
And for Baltimore, Randy McMillan rushed for 56 yards on 7 carries in the first half. Curtis Dickey only 14 yards, 6 carries. Winder had 48 yards, 12 carries. And the kickoff by Carlos. So Kendall Williams decides to stay right there. Kendall Williams in his first year out of Arizona State. So that'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And Baltimore 1st and 10 as we get underway in this second half. The Baltimore Colts with Carl Balderschweiler and Jim Mills at the tackles. Chris Hinton, rookie out of Northwestern, #1 pick originally by Denver. At left guard, Steve Wright, acquired from Dallas only 2 weeks ago, and stepped in as a starter last week at right guard. Ray Donaldson centering for Mike Pagel. Long count. And McMillan for the short pickup. Crowd of 51,482, so they're about 6,000 short of a sellout, but they sold 30,000 tickets during the course of the week, and that is really a high figure.
That was a very big win that they placed on New England's shoulders last week. It kind of renewed the enthusiasm for the whole group. I remember Baltimore as the loudest, most enthusiastic group in the National Football League, and it's been a few years since that's been true.
2nd down and 7. Curtis Dickey off the stutter step and the fumble.
They retain possession.
Mike Harden tried to gobble up the roller but knocked it out of bounds, and as a result, the Colts will maintain possession.
Well, the big hit was by Dennis Smith, the former USC defensive back, who, when this ball is fumbled, he tries to pick it up on the run. When he does so, he actually hits it and loses control of it. In doing so, that thing is on its way to the sideline. Harden tried to save it before it went out, could not do so. That was a very nice pickup.
Yes. So Curtis Dickey with the run and the fumble, which Baltimore is able to retain for the first down at the Baltimore 42. And here's McMillan. 3-yard advance across the 45. The free safety, Steve Foley, was there to make the stop.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's no fun trying to handle him when he's got a full head of steam. As we look at the stats, they really indicate the way the game has gone. The Colts have 154 total yards, but the game was just about even. When Baltimore didn't capitalize on the good field position they had in the first quarter and the early part of the second, not much offense has happened.
And this crowd alive earlier, you mentioned they are, at one time they were the loudest crowd in the NFL, but lost their enthusiasm in the second quarter. Here's McMillan.
They're getting it back now. And remember, it's 102 degrees. You can only yell so long in that kind of heat.
Barney Chavis, Rulon Jones stopping McMillan, but he picked up the first down. So the Colts first down at the Denver 47-yard line.
We've noticed that Bob Swenson is not back in the game. Tim Ryan Jim Ryan has taken his place, number 50.
Ryan with Busick, Gradishar, and Jackson. Curtis Dickey again ripping it off for another first down. Steve Foley on the tackle.
Tell you, they're inside guard and center. That Hinton, number 75, has made some superb blocks to allow Dickey to get through the hole. They're doing it against two very tough nose tackles too. When you take a look, and you get guys the likes of Don Latimer and Reuben Carter, you're moving somebody around.
First down at the 37 as Dickey picked up 11. And the Colts running well. This time Newton Williams out of the fullback slot. He's out of Arizona State in his second year. Had a strong final preseason game against Atlanta. Gradishar and Chavis stopping Williams.
I get the feeling Pagel's looking at the sideline, rooting for him to hurry up, send in the play, send in something. Let's keep going. We've got him on the run. Don't let him regather.
And Pagel and the Colts have a second down and 4. 3.5 gone by. Third quarter. We're tied at 3. Second back coming through, Alvin Moore. First time he has touched the ball today. 7th round draft pick, rookie from Arizona State. Gradishar on the stop along with Ryan.
Really impressive thing to me as we see Alvin Moore. They have 6 free agents on Baltimore's 49-man squad, and they also have 6 free agents on the other side of the field. Now, that's an awful lot of people that weren't drafted, that are rookies, that are playing.
Last year, Frank Kush went through 147 players in all. He took quick looks. Third down and 3 at the 30. And Alvin Moore again. Alvin Moore.
No good.
10.
Coming back.
But a flag is down.
Steve Wright, number 73, was caught for holding on Tom Jackson, and that's exactly what he did. He just ran over the top of him, tackled him. And that's the reason the play broke also. You can see it. Sometimes these plays are not at the point of attack, as we see the official showing Gradishar what actually happened. That one was at the point of attack.
Number 73 holding on an arm lock.
Well, there is a descriptive interpretation by Gene Barth.
Yeah, here you go. You see more now. Look at this. You get to see it pretty clean. Step over toe hold.
Steve Wright acquired from Dallas just 2 weeks ago, and then stepped in, took over the starting job at right guard. Called for the hold. Colts are hit with their 6th penalty for 50 yards. You can see the differential there. So it's a third down and 13 back at the 40.
They're coming after him.
And it's picked off by Steve Foley.
They haven't got it yet. Now they do. Harden finally got they tried to lateral it to Harden. He couldn't handle it, but he did pick it up before the ball went out of bounds. That was an exceptional interception. You just very seldom see a fellow with quick enough reflexes. Pagel does a good job of getting out of trouble, but when he throws it right to Foley. I know the most surprised man in the house had to be Steve, but he did have the presence of mind to keep it.
It has been an elusive football. Denver had that wild game last week against Pittsburgh. And now the Broncos, off the intercept by Foley, take over. They'll go back to the offense. Interception by Steve Foley. You saw the turnover situation last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Denver has picked off 2 today, Steve Wright and Steve Foley. And the Broncos take over first down at their 47-yard line. Reverse. This is Rick Upchurch. So the reverse does not work. Paros to Upchurch, a very short pickup.
Johnny
Graceland right there.
Johnny Cooks was just too quick, did not let the play get started. Had he not been in the position he was, it would have gone for big yardage, but Maybe that's why he was a #1 draft choice. You take a guy that's got this kind of mobility, and he's smart enough to stay where his responsibility lies. You see, number 98. Big, strong, fast linebacker. Makes a fine play.
Cooks slowing him down, and then Bracelet on the cover-up. 2nd down and 8. And Elway hearing it from the crowd again. Here's Winder. Nice change of direction to get to midfield. Sammy Winder stopped by Cooks. Eric Krause, Donnell Thompson also involved in the action. And it will be a 3rd down and 7. Denver lining up with Studdard and Lanier at the tackles, Bishop and Howard the guards, Bryan the center. And they go with the extra wide receiver, inserting the rookie from San Diego State, Clint Sampson. Sampson, number 84, flanked to the right. And Elway out of the shotgun. Oh! Elway rocked by Vernon Maxwell.
Hey, I was just going to mention, that's his 2nd, and I'll tell you another thing. He is so fast. He got to John before he could even see him. He was down low. He beat his blocker. John had his attention down the field. And if you're going to, you see 56 as Vernon Maxwell goes right over the back trying to block him. Catches John before he can do anything. Puts him on the floor. Remember, they've got 4 first-round draft choices playing defense for the Colts. And Vernon Maxwell should have been a first. So, I mean, they've got a lot of talent.
And this is only the 2nd week of the season already. The Baltimore Colts pumping Maxwell for Defensive Rookie of the Year honors. This is Larry Anderson playing the Luke Prestridge punt.
Rob Lytle makes a play.
Rob Lytle, always outstanding on special teams, although he is shaken up.
Oh, he hurt his wrist or his shoulder. It's in that left arm somewhere.
46-yard punt by Prestridge. Lytle on the coverage, allowing for only a 2-yard return by Anderson. A timeout with 8:20 left in the 3rd quarter.
There's only...
Here's a man, 41, Rob Lytle, was a great running back at the University of Michigan, has been an all-purpose football player for the Denver Broncos. He's not starting, he's not doing a lot of playing, but a guy that's a football player will play where you put him. Perfect on special teams, comes down and makes a great play to get him in a bad field position, but he did get hurt.
And Baltimore 1st down at their 14-yard line. This is McMillan. Again, pulling his way off the left side. Randy McMillan in his 3rd season out of the University of Pittsburgh, stopped by the combination of Rulon Jones and Jim Ryan. Right here, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is Colorado's News Channel, Channel 4, KCNC, Denver.
Along with John Brody, this is Marv Albert. 102 degrees at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. We're tied at 3, 7:45 remaining, 3rd quarter. Now the Colts on the offense, 2nd down and 5. Curtis Dickey, a whirling dervish, but cannot elude the Denver defense. They're tackling each other on defense.
Jim Ryan wants to get a piece of something. He got 2 of his own and a little bit of the runner.
Rulon Jones, Steve Busick making the stop on Dickey. Randy McMillan now has 68 yards, 10 carries. Curtis Dickey coming alive in this 3rd quarter after the slow start in the 1st half. Dickey, number 33, moving up to the line. 4th season, Texas A&M. 3rd down and 8. Back at the Colt 15. And Pagel, he was looking for the tight end, changed his mind. And then try to hit McMillan out of the backfield. He was covered by Jim Ryan.
Yeah, he changed his mind because he couldn't find him. And it's good defensive play, but neither offense has been able to create anything or make something happen. The one long run by Moore, which looked like a touchdown, they got started early, but they really haven't created anything offensively. We just heard also that Rob Lytle has a dislocated left shoulder.
Oh.
It didn't look good when you saw him, but that's bad news.
And Ron Stark, who has been really booming them with another good one. Whew. Zach Thomas, the rookie, South Carolina State, to the 25.
He's going.
Zach Thomas, midfield. So Thomas hauled down by backup tight end Pat Beach. But a beautiful return, a 61-yard punt by Stark, and it's returned for 26 yards by Thomas. Marv Albert, John Brody from Baltimore, Maryland, and yes, it is a hot day here.
It's very
in
warm.
Baltimore.
It's not a coat day. Anyway.
No, 102 degrees at least, and on the field what?
It's warm for us, but it's got to be 105 to 110. I'm a little surprised they haven't substituted more than they have. And I have to credit Baltimore's defense. Most of their players have gone all the way, and it is hot.
All right, first down at the 47-yard line. White on a reverse. And it was coughed up by Watson. And let's see. The Baltimore Colts have recovered. The double reverse. Steve Watson fumbling on the play. Both coaches have been going for the trick plays here today, and they have not worked.
This one was going to be a little flea flicker where Watson was going to throw the ball back to Elway, and he had a receiver down the field. But a great play by Wisniewski kept the thing short, never let it develop. This guy's made about 4 plays as a nose tackle that have been big.
So a timeout has been called with 6.5 left in the third quarter.
We are an explorer, a farmer, a miner, and an insurance company. We're a pipeline, a truck line, a gold mine, and a leasing company. We're a builder, a printer, a logger, and an energy company. We are more than 41,000 men and women working in 18 different industries all across America. We are Southern Pacific. We also run a railroad.
Off the recovery by the rookie out of Northwestern, Steve Parker. Baltimore Colts take over. 1st and 10 at the Denver 39. We're tied at 3. 6.5 left, third quarter. Here's Dickey. Curtis Dickey picking up a couple. It'll set up a 2nd down and 8. Lewis Wright, Steve Busick making the stop. The Baltimore Colts home opener. Baltimore and Denver meet again in Denver December 11th. Last week, the Colts with their first victory since 1981. Remember, they went 0-8-1 last season.
Do you get the feeling this is one of those games like they played when they had the checkered squares on the field where you had to throw in the checkered square?
Out here is Randy McMillan. Wait a second, John. Would you explain that?
Well, we've got a 3rd and 4. They get a turnover and they run the ball the same way they've been doing. And if one thing Denver is good at, it's stuffing people at the line of scrimmage. Now, I know Baltimore's good, but Pagel's thrown the ball very well when given an opportunity. He had one that Butler dropped. There was a sure long gainer. He threw another ball just before the half down that got stolen. But Pagel's been firing the ball well, and I haven't seen him throw it that much.
Well, he has a 3rd down and 4 at the Denver 33. And Pagel on the run, chased by Rulon Jones, and he had to dish it off.
I don't blame him.
Number 75, Rulon Jones, chasing him down.
He took the best of some very bad options.
Yes. John, are we seeing superb defense on both sides?
We're seeing both.
Poor offense.
I really think when it's this warm and you got receivers that are that warm, you've got to get the ball up and down the field. You've got to take your chances. We have not seen anybody try to extend the defenses. A little before the half, Elway threw one down to Upchurch. Other than that, we haven't seen the ball go over 30 yards.
And Ron Stark to punt. at midfield. Looking to angle.
Look at this.
It's not what he had in mind. And a penalty marker down. He was trying to angle it. That is not where he wanted to place it.
But it was well punted, Marv. If the coverage had been in the proper space and the kick was, and he didn't get a bad bounce, he'd have had it inside the 5.
And someone downfield too quickly. Here's Gene Barth.
Number 29, ineligible, downfield, illegally on a kick, penalty refused, first down.
So number 29 for the Baltimore Colts, Mark Kofensis, a recent pickup signed on Wednesday after the Cleveland Browns cut him, signed to replace the injured Jeff Delaney. Delaney out of action. That's why Larry Anderson is starting at the strong safety. First down at the 20-yard line for John Elway and his Denver Broncos. Sammy Winder stopped by Steve Parker, number 78. Steve Parker starting the game.
Well, Steve Parker, this is a lineman's dream defensively because they're all standing up, taking their best shots at the offense. Both defensive lines seem to be getting the better of the offensive lines at this point, and both teams are reluctant to throw, so it's tee off and get the guy with the ball. I'm looking out here for a reason, and Rick Upchurch is one-on-one with James Burrows, and if they want to come out here, they can.
Loss of 3 off the tackle by Parker, who was a surprise starter today. 2nd and 13. Oh, getting. And Elway throwing one to the crowd. Watson able to play the deflection for the first down.
Now that's a nice little deal. He threw it right into the crowd, 3 defenders. But Watson, keeping his eye on the ball, picked up the deflection. That's what you call good old-fashioned luck. Try that again and you'll go broke. John comes out. He's only got 1 receiver to throw to. He's a little frustrated. Puts a ball that he should never throw right in number 45's arms. James Burrows lets it go up, tips it to Watson. They've got a first down, and all sorts of good things happen when you throw it.
Second catch of the day for Watson. Elway is now 6 for 16. 58 yards. First down at the Denver 31. Big rush for Elway. The screen for Parros. Rick Parros, first down and more. Across the 45-yard line. Kim Anderson banging him out of bounds.
It's taken advantage of a real good pass rush. We saw Wisniewski smell it out the screen prior, but this time Wisniewski was in the pass rush along with a defensive lineman. John's going to learn how to set up just a little longer. Then it'll really break free for him.
Dan Reeves mentioned during the course of the week he felt Elway was kind of drifting out of the pocket.
Well,
on the setup.
You do that because he's accustomed to people, to having a little more time. He's probably not as accustomed to the size of the people that he's seeing. There's a comfort zone that you have to find in this game, and that's what he's going to find playing.
First down at the 46. Oh, Elway sacked. The blitz by Barry Krause. What a move.
They fooled him, and when you make a good play, that's what happens. Barry Krause came late. You can see he ran in right between guard and center. Elway's not supposed to be responsible to get him picked up. That's a guard-center decision. They didn't make it properly, and he lands on his can.
Third sack of the day by Baltimore was Wisniewski, Maxwell, and now Krause.
They didn't give him a sack there, Marv, because he threw the ball incomplete. I think they brought it back to the line of scrimmage.
You're right. It's a 2nd and 10. All right, subtract the Krause sack. 2nd down and 10 at the 46. It was ruled an incompletion. And Elway going sideline for Parros.
I'm seeing John do things that I haven't seen him do, and I've watched him play 5 years. That time he took 2 steps before he threw the ball. That's it. He's forcing it, and he doesn't have to do that. His arm's strong enough. He doesn't have to take 2 steps before he lets go of the ball. He's going to knock his receivers down. Obviously, when you're real anxious to do well, sometimes you do things you shouldn't, and he does it right here. Watch when he sets up. He's real strong. All he has to do is let go of the ball. Come on. Nope, he fires it in there, throws it a little high.
And you see the receivers in this wide shot as Watson flanked to the left.
Harry Coyle is down there. He loves the wide shot. I do too. We'll be able to see it.
And Elway being chased by Thompson. Elway unleashing and completing for a long gainer for Steve Watson. So Watson and Elway beginning to get unsynced. Derek Hatchett covering on the play.
That's a superb play. Now, John made two bad plays earlier. He threw the ball high. He threw a ball where he shouldn't have thrown it, and Watson came up with a fine play. But take a look at the coverage. They've got a man-to-man coverage, no free safety. Watson's coming down, looking like he's forcing himself into the middle. He gets the back off of him, comes back. Elway gets out of the pocket in the meantime, finds him, and has an arm strong enough to hit him. That is a rare ability.
And it's good for 31 yards. 1st and 10 for the Denver Broncos at the Baltimore Colts 23. And here is Steve DeBerg taking over.
There's a helmet problem down there with Elway. I don't know exactly what it is, but
so DeBerg has come on in the midst of this drive.
Or they may have a special play. Look out.
And the whistle blows the play dead. The Baltimore Colts were looking for the continuation off the hit by Vernon Maxwell.
Vernon Maxwell better watch it. He gets too wild around that official. They'll put 15 on him, and then he will be in hot water. They thought that right there, they thought they picked the ball off, but it was called dead, or it would have been a pick-off. You see, Braceland gets it before it hits the ground, but they called the ball dead before he fumbled it.
We just received a report that they're working on the right arm of John Elway.
Well, he probably has. He has that bursa sack, and last week he fell on it, and it jumped up the size of a football. We'll have to take a look, see what happened to it today, but I got the feeling he'll be right back in there.
All right, DeBerg took over for Elway in the second half last week. Penalty marker down as DeBerg goes deep. And it is broken up by Derek Hatchett, the right cornerback. But a penalty marker is down.
What's that, defensive holding?
The call against the Colts. Last week, DeBerg came on, went 4 of 8, only 35 yards, but 1 touchdown.
97 defense, offside.
Oh.
All right, the offside on Quentin Ballard.
They're all trying to get there so fast, sometimes you take a little edge.
Out of the rookie out of Elon College. John Elway now warming up along the sideline. 2nd and 17 for DeBerg. Goes the middle. So completes with the Maxwell again, covering Winder on the play. There's Elway. And he's testing it out.
I'll tell you one thing that's not fun is having some kind of an arm pad on your throwing arm. It's just kind of bothersome. I don't know how badly it was hurt, but it must be hurt too bad or he'd be in there.
Elway 8 for 20, 105 yards. 3rd down, 11. Out of the Baltimore 24, a lot of movement.
I think they got the quarterback for humping his shoulder pads, and that's an intentional pulling him off sides. You see that little cord going back down the helmet of DeBerg? That's a device to allow, it's a loudspeaking system. And his voice, he lost his voice by getting hit in the larynx, and so he uses it.
Illegal movement by the quarterback with the shoulders.
Maybe he's talking with his shoulders now. His voice is gone. Anyway, he's going to have to do it from 5 yards further back.
That's an extension of trying to bring the defense offside. Usually you do it on the cadence.
Well, you do it any way you can if you don't get caught, but if you do, it's 5.
So the shoulder movement by DeBerg. 3rd down, 16 at the 30. And DeBerg going long, picked up. Derek Hatchett on the intercept. And Hatchett hauled out inside the 15-yard line by Steve Watson, the intended receiver.
That's a throw that he would like to have back. I know Steve DeBerg's trying to make something happen in his sparse playing time, but in a game that's 3-3, you're in field goal position. It's third down. You've got 16 yards to go. The chance of making the completion is kind of slight. If he's open, hit him. But if he's not, get that thing up in the cheap seats. And if you're a quarterback coach or anybody, you don't want to throw the ball in the middle of the field where you have very little chance of making the completion.
Timeout with 40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Score remains tied at 3.
The proven one.
Back in Baltimore off the interception by Derek Hatchett. The Colts first down at their 13-yard line. Only 40 seconds left, third quarter. We're tied at 3. Curtis Dickey accelerating and able to wrestle right near that first down marker. Lewis Wright on the tackle, but Curtis Dickey with a good move. And a penalty marker thrown.
Hey, the Colts haven't had the best of that penalty situation. Every time they make something happen, they get penalized. You say, well, it's indicative of a young team, but the discipline of Cush, I expect to be good enough to override that. And they've made penalties in key situations that have hurt them.
And he was unhappy earlier about some calls.
32 offense, holding, still first down.
The fullback, Randy McMillan, called for the hold. Last year, Frank Cush told people he felt there were only 8 or 9 NFL quality people on the Colt roster. He says things are turning.
Yeah, they sure are. I can see 8 on offense.
A handoff for McMillan.
Rulon Jones, number 75, and the other number 75, Chris Hinton, number 1 draft choice, had a little go at each other. Jones claimed a foul, didn't get it.
And that's the time running down third quarter. A 2nd and 11 is coming up for the Baltimore Colts. But that is the end of the third quarter with the score, Denver 3 and Baltimore 3. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Wednesday, be there.
Broncos.
Today's game is being brought to you by Chrysler Plymouth, cars engineered for luxury, quality, and value. By Southern Pacific, 41,000 people working in 18 industries all across America. And by AT&T, expanding your ability to communicate through the most powerful communication network in the world. Marv Albert with John Brody from Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. 3 points apiece. 33-yard field goal by Allegre of the Colts first quarter. 43-yarder by Carlos of the Broncos in the second. And that has been it as we get underway. Fourth quarter. And Pagel with the bullet pass. Intended for Matt Boozer. Well covered by Lewis Wright.
Like Lewis Wright can cover, I know he can cover 1 like a blanket, but he may be able to handle 2. When you do that rollout stuff, you're taking half of the field away from yourself, and your options diminish a lot. I know sometimes it gets you away from a good pass rush, but the only option he had right then was to be able to hit Boozer, and it was a tough throw.
Fourth quarter at Shea. Seattle looking to continue their mastery over the New York Jets. Raiders in front of Houston out in L.A. in the fourth quarter. Miami leading New England in the fourth. Third down 11 for Pagel. Curtis Dickey on the completion, but well short of the first down. Roger Jackson, the nickelback, covering. And and a flag down, a hold against Baltimore.
No, they're not going to take that penalty. They get a chance for a change of possession. That'll be 4th down. And good field position, but Ron Stark has kicked them out of there a couple
Holding,
times.
64 offense, penalty refused, 4th down.
All right, Ben Hutt called for the hold, which obviously has been declined. And Ron Stark from his end zone.
You talk about respect. Take a look down the field and watch where Zach Thomas is. He's on the 32-yard line. That's 60 yards away.
Zach Thomas up toward midfield, and that's it. Yes, Stark has connected on 2 earlier punts for 60+. This one goes 52. 8-yard return. And when we come back, it'll be Denver back on offense. Colt Elway is back in at quarterback, forced to leave as that elbow was bothering him once again. So DeBerg came out, and then DeBerg was intercepted to stop the Denver drive. And Elway hears it from the crowd as he takes over, first down at the Denver 48. Opening minute, 4th quarter.
May help him not to be quite as strong with his arm.
Upchurch. Nice move by Upchurch, but only short yardage. Fidel Thompson running about. There's Thompson, number 99. Now Nathan Poole has come in at running back to combine with Sammy Winder. Elway in his debut last week, only 1 out of 8. Sacked 4 times, intercepted once. Has shown some signs here today in the 3rd quarter.
I don't think we have to worry about that. What we haven't seen him do is know enough about the offense to be able to hit people in between seams down the field. He's thrown the ball laterally well, a few screens, but he hasn't done much with his wide guys.
2nd down, 9, flag thrown, and may have been too much time again.
I'll tell you that's not okay. If you're a Denver fan, and I'm sure their coaching staff is they'll take the responsibility for it, and you don't like it, and the players get hot when that happens. You know, somebody's taking too much time sending something.
Game offense, still 2nd down.
You can see Dan over there looking at the side. Hey, we got to do this and we got to do that, and they haven't corrected the problem.
That's the third time that the Denver Broncos have taken too much time. 2nd down and 14. Now Paros is back in the lineup, combining with Winder as they split. Here's Rick Paros. And he gets to the Baltimore 48-yard line. Rick Paros' 3rd season out of Utah State. Stopped by Johnny Cooks, the inside linebacker on the left.
It can't take too long to call a draw play, all right? Now, if you get caught for too much time and your play was a draw, there might be a little too much going on in the way of, of what you have to say.
3rd down and 7. Watson is right, and Upchurch left. Watson in motion.
Look out.
And Elway smothered. Tim Anderson from the secondary leading the assault.
Little safety blitz, and he did it at just the right time. John did not have enough people there to pick up. You see Watson pretending to go in motion, going the other way, and as Elway tries to get out of trouble, he runs right into the safety blitz man. Good defense, good call at a perfect time.
So once again, John Elway has been sacked 4 times. And Luke Prestridge is back to punt.
What happens is when you get called for too much time, the defense has a chance to figure out what they want to do also, you know, and they get you in the box.
This is Larry Anderson calling for the fair catch. And the Colts take over with 13:09 left in the 4th quarter. 42-yard punt. And it is Baltimore going to the offense once again. A reminder tonight on NBC at 7 o'clock. It's The Powers of Matthew Starr, followed by at 8 p.m. Knight Rider. And then at 9, the Sunday night movie, Beulah Land. That's all tonight on NBC. Well, the crowd getting charged up once again. I think they've reached the level of the first quarter. Pagel, though, asking for some quiet. And to throw on first down, a bullet. Incomplete. Intended for Matt Booza. Randy Gradishar covering.
Matt Booza made a fine play, Marv, trying to get in there. He actually hit Gradishar's thigh with his headgear. I mean, the ball was thrown low, the only place it could be thrown. Take a look out at that offensive line. They've made a couple of replacements out there. Now, their offensive center, Donaldson, has been playing really well, but now they've got number 63 in there playing offensive center, and I hadn't seen him before.
Unless they
53.
No, that's Donaldson.
That's right. He's in there.
I know they've changed the number, but
they've got Ben Utt playing right guard.
Curtis Dickey off the left side. Bush has been shuffling as he did last week. And Ben Utt can go both left guard and right guard. In fact, last week, Utt started at left guard. Chris Hinton with the knee injury did not start. Steve Busick on the stop of Dickey. And now Jeff Hart is in at the right tackle, wearing there is number 68.
Marv, just take a look at them getting off on the ball, and that is because they're fresh, and Denver isn't quite so fresh. They're getting real good play out of their young offensive line. I'll tell you, they must think they can run over the top of them. I think they may come up broke trying to do that, though.
3rd down and 6 from the 27 of Baltimore. That pass off the mark. Bernard Henry was there, but the ball was not. Steve Foley was back covering.
Well, I'll tell you what, the ball was not there, but I'll bet you if Bernard Henry looks at the film, he was supposed to have turned up right in that hole, because Pagel threw the ball just before he was hit, and I think he expected Henry to turn, look, and be ready to stop.
The Raiders still in front of Houston. You saw the Jets trailing Seattle. New York Jets yet to beat the Seattle Seahawks. 0-6 lifetime.
And Zorn said, hey, we're ready for them.
All right, here's Ron Stark. And Zach Thomas on the return. Thomas tried the stiff arm effect. Greg Braceland with the low tackle. 12 minutes, 7 seconds left. 4th quarter. And Denver and Baltimore tied at 3. In the 4th quarter, Miami leading New England 34-17. Now the Rams and New Orleans in the 4th. Rams lead at 21-20 off the 46-yard punch. Steve DeBerg running the Denver offense once again and able to complete to Rick Barros. And Barros broke a tackle to pick up the first down. James Burrows making the stop. Colts thought they had him, but now penalty marker is down, and it's against Denver.
You almost get the feeling it's better not to have the ball if you want to make any yards.
Yes, during the course of the first half, when it was a 3-3, as we commented, not a bad game for a 3-3.
Number 60 offense, holding, still first down.
So the hold is called. I don't think that number was called out correctly by Gene Barth. There's Elway on the sideline. Steve DeBerg has come on once again.
It's not a very rewarding day for John. He didn't play real well. They didn't give him a lot of chance to play well, but when they did, he just didn't throw it the way John Elway's accustomed to throwing, and I think the replacement was right.
All right, the screen for Paros. And he fumbles. And picked up by the Baltimore Colts. This is Larry Anderson. And Larry Anderson runs it in. No penalty markers down. It will count. Larry Anderson has given the Colts the lead.
you? Vernon Maxwell. He's the man who created the whole kiddabaloo. You see John with his head down. He'd love to be playing, but he didn't. I mean, it's DeBerg's game right now to win or lose, I view. And as we said, it's easier to make points without it today.
It's a 41-yard run by strong safety Larry Anderson. Rail Allegre looking to add the extra point. And does. It was Vernon Maxwell who created the fumble, hitting Tony Collins of New England last week. That was gobbled up by Johnny Cooks, and he ran it in. In overtime, Maxwell again with the hit. Larry Anderson able to run it in.
Let's take a look at how it developed, though, Marv. Take a look. Here's Barrows coming on. Vernon Maxwell, number 56, behind him. The real good linebackers, when they make the play, create fumble. He's created them time and time again, and today's been no exception.
For Real Automotive 2000 responding to the Baltimore Colts as Allegre kicks it off to Mike Hart. And again, a hard hit by the Colts. Mark DeFensis, who was picked up this past week from the Cleveland Browns. Very quick to get downfield.
Good movement. The ball was kicked high, which gives those fellas on that special team a chance to get past their block so they can get to that guy returning that kickoff. You make a play inside the 20. Now that they're kicking off from the 35, you have made some play.
And the chant of defense. 1st and 10. Back for the 17. Steve DeBerg remains in at quarterback. Rick Powers, and slammed out of bounds. Derek Hatchett and Vernon Maxwell making the play.
Last week, in the 4th quarter, they needed a touchdown. DeBerg got it for him, rallied his groups, went right down and scored. He's got a little bit more in front of him today. He's got a group that is all fired up. He's got a bunch of fellas that are playing at home. He's got to get out of that infield down there, which is doubly tough.
2nd and 7. Watson followed across by Hatchett. That was a desperation throw by DeBerg. The rush of Steve Parker, the rookie from Northwestern, forcing DeBerg to get rid of the football.
He threw a lateral is what he did, and I think they caught it, and it went a little backwards. That just compounds the problem. When it's going bad, it keeps going bad. That doesn't matter who they put in there. If anybody comes through that fast, it's going to be tough for the quarterback. We should repeat, however, we said it once, that Elway was not taken out because of injury. He's taken out because Baltimore's had the best of him today, and I'm sure there'll be other days, but today, the blue and white won.
So the illegal forward pass moves it back, 3rd down 18. The ball is on the 9. 11:26 left, 4th quarter. A lot of movement, flag down, and DeBerg throws. And completes to Watson for the 1st down, but we'll have to see what that call is. Kim Anderson, the nickel back, on the tackle of Steve Watson.
That was a beautiful throw. I used to see a lot of those in professional football. That's the first one we've seen today over the linebackers in front of the defensive secondary. You'd like to get used to seeing that in pro ball.
69 defense, offside, penalty refused, 1st down.
That's a big penalty called on Leo Wisniewski, the nose tackle, who has played so well for Baltimore, and Leo hearing it.
Well, I don't see where it didn't affect the thing. They picked it up anyway. They didn't take the penalty. You see Frank Kush, that's one of the things he's going to have to handle. I mean, Wisniewski's aggressive. He's been playing great. He's made some big plays, and you do it because you're aggressive. Now, sometimes you're going to be a little quick.
1st down at the 31. Here's Parros. Nice move by Parros for the 1st down. Kim Anderson running about So Denver with another first down.
And I've noticed Dan Reeves is getting his plays in a lot quicker. I see DeBerg right there. This time they send the back Nathan Poole, number 34, in to give him the message quick so they can get out of the huddle and get the play off.
That winning touchdown engineered last week by DeBerg came off a beautiful delay by Nathan Poole, leading to the touchdown pass to Ron Egloff in the fourth quarter. Short setup, Upchurch, and picked up 4.
You know when an offense really does well is when all their players feel an immediacy about scoring the football. It's not when you're relaxed and you're taking your time in the huddle and you're taking your time out of the huddle. It's when you've got something to accomplish. Everybody knows what they're supposed to do. The plays are crisp. They come up to the line, they get set, and they execute. And you haven't seen that very often in Denver the last couple of years until they get into a time problem. They're in one now, and they look a whole lot more settled.
Second down and 6. Sammy Winder got caught. He tried to fake, had nowhere to go. Sanders Shiver making the stop of Winder.
Well, I'll tell you, those offensive linemen are having a little trouble pushing the defense, and particularly number 69. Wisniewski is making things happen in that middle. Sanders Shriver just picks up what he left. Here we are, 3rd and 11. He completed it under tough situations before. Can he do it again? You can't keep doing it.
And Denver running from that Baltimore Oriole infield. Here's DeBerg. Dave Preston. Oh! Nearly broke the tackle, but stopped at midfield.
It was a very good play. What happened though was the blitz. They blitzed 7 players on DeBerg. Preston was really all alone when he caught it, but real good pursuit by the secondary.
Combination of Johnny Cooks, James Burrows, stopping that Denver drive, and Luke Prestridge is in to punt.
I think you've got to be impressed with the way Baltimore's playing defense.
And again, they have the crowd charging them up. We are hearing the crowd here in this fourth quarter. Here's Prestridge. Larry Anderson is back and lets it fly. So out at the 13-yard line. 37-yard punt by Prestridge. And the Colts take over. 8 minutes and 52 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, and Baltimore leading it by the score of 10-3. Next Sunday, starting at 12:30 Eastern Time, NFL 83 will get the day underway with a look at Washington Redskins quarterback Joe Theismann. And then regional action, Richard Todd and the New York Jets against the New England Patriots. Kansas City Chiefs visiting the Redskins of Washington. And we suggest you check your local listings for the games and times in your area.
Oh,
that
you know
ball was
I heard the whistle's late. Now, if they didn't blow the whistle, that was a fumble recovery. But I guess they blew it early.
Curtis Dickey appeared to have the ball jostled.
He did have it jostled, but he got the benefit of a quick whistle. And that happens once in a while. All right, number 33. See, when they're tackling him, they're trying to get a hold of the ball. You can see he doesn't have it.
Erlon Jones, 75, try to strip him. 2nd and 7. And Randy McMillan is stopped at the line by Jim Ryan.
This is a cardinal sin. You get ahead by 7 points, and I know it's a defensive game. You start sitting on it, playing that clock, and you can get in trouble. It's just something psychologically. Your team starts holding on, and not too many good things happen that way.
Richard Todd to Wesley Walker, 46-yard pass play. It's now 17-10, Seattle leading the Jets in the fourth quarter.
Chuck Knox is not too bad at rebuilding.
Third down and 8. So a loss of a yard on that last play. Alvin Moore, the rookie from Arizona State.
Cush has made his decision. He is going to let the defense win it for him, because if he had any other thoughts, they'd have been throwing that ball. And we'll see if it works. It's the coach's decision to make, and he is either a hero or a bum.
Moore was stopped by Busick. And now 7 minutes remaining. Fourth quarter.
My goodness. Zach Thomas is 60 yards down the field from the line of scrimmage.
Once again, the respect for Ron Stark gets the good hang time. Thomas coming up. And it is down at the midfield line. It goes as a 28-yard punt. And Denver will take over at the 50. So the Denver Broncos trailing the Baltimore Colts. The 41-yard fumble recovery run by Larry Anderson, a starter at strong safety today because of the injury suffered by Jeff Delaney. That off the hit of Vernon Maxwell, who has come through with another powerful performance. That has provided the Colts with the lead. Steve DeBerg at quarterback. Rick Upchurch on the reception. So Upchurch stopped by Burrows with the long gainer, 27-yard pass play. And Denver first down at the Baltimore 26.
It's not that tough on first down to roll out, throw a ball in between a young secondary. Rick Upchurch has caught the ball in between defensive backs before. That's the first pattern that they've run where he had an opportunity to do so. They've been given every chance.
That's Watson in motion. And here's Winder. Sammy trying to pick his way. Steve Parker, Leo Wisniewski combining on the tackle. Sammy Winder stopped.
Parker on the stop.
Boy, you see Bill Bryan down there, their center, played the whole ball game, played very well. You can bet he's had... It's a long day in those trenches when you haven't scored any points offensively.
It's a second down and 8 at the 24. Marv Albert, John Brody from Baltimore. The Broncos in possession. They're trailing 10-3.
Here they come. DeBerg pulled them off.
And throws for the end zone for Watson. Touchdown, but the flag is down.
But the flag, I do not think, well, I don't know. I think it's a touchdown. I think he pulled him off sides.
55 defense offside. Penalty refused. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown for the Denver Broncos. DeBerg connecting with Watson.
It just looks, we're going to see the route he runs, but the reason he comes open the way he does, it really wasn't bad coverage by Hatchell. DeBerg gets out from under the pass rush. They were blitzing. They're leaving their defensive backs one-on-one. Watson picks it up, sees it. Easy completion for a touchdown. Very good play by DeBerg, getting the defense to jump.
It is now a 10-9 Baltimore lead. And here is Rich Carlos attempting to tie it. Penalty marker down as Carlos put it through.
Charlie Carlos kicked it right out of the cheap seats.
Ball start, 73 offense.
Well, the false start on Sean Hollingsworth.
Those babies are not automatic, Marv.
Ball start, 73. Will kick over.
So Rich Carlos will need a bit more distance now. DeBerg awaits the snap. On a move open on the line. And it's good. The Steve Watson touchdown pass play for Watson, his 5th reception, 107 yards in all thus far, has tied it. And we're even at 10 in this 4th quarter. Now the man has to generate some offense for his Baltimore Colts.
I'm sure he'd disagree with that assessment, Marv, but I agree with it. And I think whenever you run the ball 3 times and you've got a 7-point lead with 9 plays to go, you are sitting on it. Now he's got to regenerate his group, and I don't know. That remains to be seen.
Larry Anderson on the return had a pretty move at the 25, but Anderson taken down by Nathan Poole.
Olmo has a way of changing, and when it's on your side, I hate to let it go. It has definitely gone.
And there is that Denver drive capped off by the 24-yard touchdown pass to Steve Watson. Mike Pagel has not completed a pass in the second half.
And hasn't thrown very many.
1st and 10 at the 27. Alvin Moore and Randy McMillan in the backfield. Pagel on play action. Dumping it off to Moore. Alvin Moore taking the shoulder from Steve Foley.
Pagel made a fine play. He got out of a big pass rush. He's got good movement back there for a quarterback. And then he made a wise decision. Moore made a good decision by not trying to help him by blocking. There was only one man trying to handle 2 people. Left him all alone, picked up the first easily. Look at Dan Reeves over there, hoping his defense can hang on. This game gets to be a gut check week in and week out.
Tied at 10, 5.5 left, 4th quarter. McMillan out to the 45-yard line.
Beautiful open field tackle by Dennis Smith. You don't see many tacklers take down either McMillan or Dickey without any help.
5-yard pickup, 2nd down and 5. Did you say the team that scores 17 points, was it, would win this game?
Yeah, I think that was set. That tone was set pretty early, Marv.
Did you say that?
Well, I guessed it. If I think a team would settle if they got it right now, but...
leading the Colts up. And this is Moore. He has speed and has the 1st down. Alvin Moore, 7th round draft pick rookie from Arizona State, run out by Dennis Smith, and a 1st down for Baltimore.
All you have to do, a little play action pass. You get those linebackers not knowing whether you run or pass. Then they can't sit there and turn you in before you get around the corner. Moore gets around, pick up the 1st down, and they're not sure whether you're going to run or pass right now. In my opinion, when you have a good running group, you've got to throw a lot of play action passes. If you don't, you're not utilizing what you do best.
Alvin Moore, who did not have a run from scrimmage last week, looking impressive here today at a very fine preseason. Little mix-up, but McMillan able to cut away and picked up a couple.
I tell you, picked up 5 because he fumbled it forward, and the Broncos couldn't keep it from going out of bounds.
Right here, we pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is Colorado's News Channel, Channel 4, KCNC, Denver.
Very hard to operate when you've got that ball in that infield. They haven't changed it in the last 25 years. And I had my opportunities. We put a lot of 3- and 7-point games together out there, so I know.
Alvin Moore is stopped. So this time Moore stopped. Combination of free safety Steve Foley and the nose tackle Don Latimer.
Not too bad a day for Randy McMillan, Marv, huh?
And this is all coming up right here at NBC following the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Colts starting tonight with the powers of Matthew Starr. 3rd down and 8. Randy McMillan has had a good day. 84 yards, 15 carries. But Pagel to throw. Incomplete, intended for Matt Boozer.
And Boozer was all alone, but Pagel couldn't get enough time to get himself gathered to be able to throw the ball lightly. And it doesn't look as if Pagel's hurrying off the field. He got hit pretty good.
And a punting situation. Run start.
Rough day on quarterbacks, Marv. This is Elway took his licks. DeBerg has had his problems, but he did get him down for a touchdown. He's been the most productive of the three, even though he hasn't been in there very long.
And behind Pagel, a shaky situation in Baltimore. What with the injury suffered by Mark Herman.
Well, I think you're going to see Mark Reed come in, who hasn't had any experience in the National Football League. Take a look at Pagel. You get three guys beaten on you after a whole day's work. It's not too much fun. They deserve every bone they're paid.
Pagel looks to be all right, but behind him is a rookie from Georgia Tech by the name of Jim Bob Taylor. And Mark Reed spent last year with the Giants, but has not thrown a pass in regular season play.
Jim Bob's supposed to be a receiver, isn't he? They don't really have Jim Bob Taylor.
Good name, good name.
Yep.
All right, the punt by Stark with Upchurch back. Oh, and it gets the bounce.
Well, how good is he?
Wow. Ron Stark with his 9th punt of the day. This one goes 42. He's averaging 41 yards a punt. He's hit a couple 60 plus. He's done it all today. He's a second-year man out of Florida State. Last week he averaged 54 yards per punt.
I'll tell you what he's done. He's put Baltimore in a position where they're going to have to do something to get out of that hole or give up field position inside the 50. If I'm Dan Reeves right now, I know it's a tough situation. Call a play-action pass. Let DeBerg get you out of the hole. They have to put together their own drive because there's still 4:23 left on that clock. 3 timeouts for both sides. Let's see how it goes.
First down back at the 2-yard line as we look at Steve DeBerg from our end zone camera. Parros. Nice play. Rick Parros on the reception.
I tell you, a play-action pass in a situation like that is almost a gimme because linebackers want to catch running backs for a safety every time. It doesn't matter what you're taught to do. That time DeBerg made a very good fake on the run and play. He's got Parros standing all alone, gets him out of a hole, runs about 45 seconds off that clock, and gets him in a much better frame of mind.
Third reception for Parros. Picked up the first down out of the 15-yard line. Now to 3:40 left, fourth quarter. Sammy Winder with a burst. He's going to hold. Sammy Winder to the 40-yard line. Vernon Maxwell finally able to haul him down. A 25-yard run by Winder.
Marv, you know how you get 25-yard runs as we look at Winder coming through a fine hole at the point of attack because you get help from your wide receivers. This time, Steve Watson, even though he didn't make a block, was down there trying to help out. That gives your back an opportunity to run off whatever movement you create, and they certainly do appreciate it.
Sammy Winder, 78 yards, 17 carries, first down at the 41, 3.5 left, fourth quarter. This is Parros. Maybe a yard. Barry Krause, inside linebacker, number 55, on the stop. We're tied at 10.
And may be tied at 10 for quite a while.
And Baltimore involved in an overtime game last week, although a quickie, only 30 seconds in, able to win it off the fumble recovery run by Johnny Cooks. Defense from the crowd here at Memorial Stadium in Baltimore. Second down 9. And deflected, intended for Upchurch.
Who do you think deflected it? Vernon Maxwell. Every time you need a guy to make a big play, he's in your face. I mean, he's going to be a real factor in this league, and he's going to mean an awful lot more to the Baltimore Colts even than they expected. Now, Cush did recruit him. When he was in high school, he had him at the university, at Arizona State University. He knows what a great player Vernon Maxwell is, and I was surprised he was available on the second round.
Last week, 9 tackles, 2 sacks, and having another outstanding day here against Denver. 2:49 remaining, fourth quarter. 3rd and 8. He's coming again. It's Maxwell.
It's the little things, right? With the number 56 on their backs to make it tough on quarterback. The back was there in perfect position to handle Maxwell. Could not do it. Blitzing situation. It's just here's a man that's taken over the flow of the game.
3rd sack of the day for Maxwell. Colts have 5 in all.
Well, DeBerg is not a very mobile quarterback, but he is a good thrower. He's back there in a position to throw the ball for a first down. Watson was open. Maxwell didn't let it happen.
High snap for Prestridge. Larry Anderson. That is 33. Interesting cut and a penalty marker.
That was a big problem because they're trying to get it back in good field position, and I think by trying to get a few more yards, he created a clip. Now they won't be there.
Wilbur Myers on the tackle, 41-yard punt. About a 3-yard return as Anderson tried to cut away and go circular route. And
can't
move it back.
You can't fault the back, but it's just one of those things.
Number 60, illegal block in the back during the run back. First down.
Credit the defense.
Gary Pageant, backup linebacker, has called out the penalty. We're down to 2 minutes, 8 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter. Denver and Baltimore even at 10. Exchange of field goals in the first half, and then the touchdown scored in the fourth quarter. Baltimore off the fumble by Parros after the reception, gobbled up and run in 41 yards by Larry Anderson. And DeBerg hitting Watson, 24-yard touchdown pass play. Newton Williams stopped by the combination of Bradishar and Tom Jackson.
You know what's happening? Right now, the fans are booing their own offense. They don't like them. They don't like the attack that Frank Kush is employing. They don't like the fact that he sat on the ball early, and they don't like it, the fact that he's sitting on it now.
Our 2-minute warning. And now here comes another one of those fantastic finishes.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes. 1981, 35 seconds left. Buffalo trails New England by 4. Roland Hooks makes a sensational catch at the 36. Buffalo's got a shot. Joe Ferguson, he's a high-arching Big Ben special into the end zone. Frank Lewis leaps and tips the game winner to Hooks. With only 5 seconds left, the Bills win 20-17.
Pick it up, pick it up. Pick up your favorite beverages in aluminum cans. They're recyclable. Pick up the good thing aluminum can. A year.
Check of the scoreboard. Seattle has made it 7 out of 7 lifetime over the New York Jets. Went to Shea and beat the Jets. Raiders over Houston. And right here in Baltimore, with a minute 59 remaining in regulation, the Broncos and the Colts are tied at 10.
Well, Baltimore's playing to jump into first place with Miami right now. After 2 games, would you figure they're going to beat New England and Denver? I mean, they've got an excellent chance right now, and I think that the fans, being as pumped up as they are, do not condone his sitting on the ball right now. They want to take a shot at winning. It's like, hey, we got to create something. They're not going to give it to us. These guys are a veteran defense. You sit there and sit on it, they'll take it and stick it someplace you won't like it.
And it shows that Coach Frank Kush does not trust his offense.
Well, I can't tell you what he's thinking, but I'll tell you the actions that are taking place indicate that he doesn't have as much confidence as he's going to need to have in them. And I don't think his defense can do it all alone. They've done about all you can ask them.
Led by the rookie from Arizona State, Vernon Maxwell, 3 sacks. Baltimore with 5 sacks on the day. Linebackers have played very well. Maxwell, Krause, Cooks,
well, I'll tell you what,
Shiver.
Get these 8 linebackers out here week in and week out, and you can say that every week. Randy Gradishar, Bob Swenson. How far do you want to go? Busick has shown he's a real fine player. Jim Ryan sat in today. He played well. Now, you put that on top of those young fellas from Baltimore, and you've got some really quality linebackers.
Apparently a problem with the clock, and they're running it back down.
Well, when you're in Baltimore, they decided 159 wasn't enough, so they went the other way.
All right, officially 2 minutes. I thought he said earlier we have the 1 minute and 59 warning. It was the 2 minute warning.
It said it, but
all right. Second down and 8 from the Baltimore 24. Booza in motion. And here's Pagel.
Rulon Jones. Don't try running those patterns where your receivers have to go 14, 15 yards down the field before they're ready to catch the ball, because Rulon Jones will be in your quarterback's lap.
Pagel was shaken up in the last Baltimore series and apparently is all right as he hangs in.
I don't know if he's all right, but he's in. he's taking his lumps.
Third down and 8. And Pagel to throw. Stepping up, but in trouble. Run it to his own man and then goes down. Barney Chavis covering up. To his own offensive line.
All right, he didn't have any receivers open. Now, well, that's what happens when somebody defensively creates the pocket problem that they did then. Now Pagel's scrambling around just looking for a little daylight. Doesn't find it. Chavis finally makes the play. What's happened here is because they didn't throw the ball on first down. Here we are being we know it all, right? But now they're sitting there with a punting situation where Ron Stark has once again got to unload a long one to get Denver out of a good field position with 1:49 left. All right, it just seems to work that way when you don't keep going.
And now the Baltimore Colts talking it over. Let's see, was a timeout call? Yes, apparently Denver did take time.
Why not? They got to take one now. They're going to keep 30 seconds more in their own possession. That's the most you can save with a timeout. New Orleans beat the Rams, or no?
No.
Rams are beating New Orleans.
In the fourth quarter. And now we're set for play to resume. And Ron Stark back at his 5. And Rick Upchurch, running back punts this afternoon, is back. Last season led the NFL averaging 16 yards per return. Good hang time again. Upchurch. 35, 40. And hauled out across the 40-yard line by Kendall Williams. So 1 minute and 37 remaining in regulation. And Denver takes over. 56-yard punt by Stark, who is putting some very impressive statistics up there. 11-yard return by Upchurch.
Let me just tell you something. Pagel, who has had a tough day, it's been real tough on him, was just going for the smelling salt. So it's not like this stuff doesn't take effect. DeBerg right now enjoying good field positions, got all the time he needs to get his team into field goal position. And you can see now we've got the new quarterback warming up for the Colts if they do get the ball back. Number 8, Mark Reed.
Art DeBerg, 8 for 10, 104 yards. Taking over for Elway, going deep for Watson. Steve Watson inside the 5.
Well, how good was that pattern? You know, it does work when you put the ball up in the air. I'm not kidding you. Steve Watson just ran right by the defensive secondary personnel. Number 45, James Burrows, hadn't been tested. They probably surprised him to death. Anyway, he put it right where it had to be thrown. And boy, you could hear a pin drop.
55 yards. Watson and DeBerg hooking up. So Steve DeBerg, who came on to hit Watson on a 24-yard touchdown pass play earlier this fourth quarter, now has a...
Right now is I do not do anything smart. We don't have to score a touchdown if you're Denver. There's 44 seconds. Don't get in too quick.
Rick Parros. We'll have to see where they mark His forward progress might have picked up a yard on the play. Johnny Cooks on the tackle. 34 seconds remaining, and a timeout is called. Denver calling time. They're down to 1 timeout left. Baltimore has 3. So the Denver Broncos will have a 2nd down and goal. Well, they mark it just outside the 2.
And I'll tell you what you do. If you're Dan Reeves and Steve DeBerg right now, they're thinking since the first play getting down here was a simple 1st down. Okay, Watson, can you run by anybody? Burrows is standing out there surprised. He ran right by him, didn't make a move. DeBerg put it right where it had to be thrown. A beautiful, beautiful pass. They're in position to win the game easily now, but their discussion is surrounding, hey, do we want to run the ball in? I think they're going to have more success. I think they're going to decide we're not going to try and throw it. We're going to run the ball. If we don't make it, we're going to wait till there's about 3 or 4 seconds left. As you can tell by the stats of DeBerg, he has come on for the 2nd week in a row and been just what the doctor ordered at the right time. John Elway's had a real problem getting off the ground. I think Dan Reeves will keep John Elway in the lineup, starting the ball games. He'll keep going. DeBerg has got things going for him right. When there's a problem, they'll put DeBerg in, and it's a very healthy situation for Denver.
And Steve Watson, with his 6th reception, has 161 yards in all. The big play, the 55-yard pass play to put Denver in this position. DeBerg on the roll, trying to take it in, and he does.
He takes it in and he got leveled, but I don't think he felt it.
Steve DeBerg with the rollout right to give Denver the lead, 16-10.
They kept putting pressure on the defense. Baltimore played so well defensively. Their offense didn't hold up. If you don't get any offense at all, eventually your defense has got to give up a little. They did at a very crucial time for Baltimore, and Denver's got something in their hip pocket with 29 seconds to play. They should have a 7-point lead, and I think maybe 17 points will win this game.
Someone said that. All right, the try for the extra point by Rich Carlos. And the Broncos now by 7. So the Broncos, in a come-from-behind effort, leading the Colts 17-10 with 29 seconds remaining in this 4th quarter.
And you can see, I asked John Elway last night, I said, have you ever been on the winning side of a football game when you only scored 14 points? He said, I've never been within 14 points when I only scored 14. Well, he didn't score any today and got out with what appears to be a victory with 29 seconds left.
Of course, John is used to those astronomical scores out at Stanford. He's had a few of those.
And I was very interested to see the reaction when DeBerg ran over to the sideline. The two of them embraced, shook hands, and you got a big smile out of Elway. I think he is more concerned for the group than he is for his stats, and I think that's probably why they've got him.
All right, 3 plays, 58 yards. Touchdown drive, taking only 1:08. Of course, the big play, 55-yard pass. DeBerg and Watson connecting. Return out to the 33-yard line with 23 seconds remaining. Wilbur Myers and Rick Dennison combining on the